Hi everyone, this is Jim. Welcome to this post-mortem of my most recent Blitz chess game number 5. Let's see, this would be a short video. The game was kind of a disaster. Let's see where I went wrong. Also, there's going to be a couple tactical quizzes, so keep your thinking caps on, and I'll keep the engine turned off. I'll just go through it. So my opponent, I played e4, and my opponent played e5. And we went into the Philidor defense. I do knight f3, and he plays d6. And quite a playable opening, although somewhat passive. And white gets a space advantage. I guess knight f6 is standard here, but he plays bishop e7. We kind of transpose back into more normal lines in a little bit. So you'll see after knight f6, suddenly there's a lot more options here. So I chose the unusual move bishop d3, so bishop e2 maybe is best. Puts the bishop on an open line. I had the idea of bishop d3 and later playing for e5. Should have kept in mind this f4 push. So we castle, and he plays knight bd7, and now we're out of opening book, so let's just go back to the notation page and play through the game. I played immediately this move knight f5, which is not horrible, but after he plays knight e5, my best move is to follow up with this bishop takes knight, get rid of this bishop, and then he can take this bishop if he wants to. Well, actually, what I didn't notice during the game, that's the way I was thinking during the game. I take his bishop, he takes my bishop, and nothing much has happened. What I didn't notice is I take his bishop with check. So he's got to respond, and then if I want to save this bishop, I can. So I could have grabbed the two bishop advantage at that point, and I failed to do so. I retreated this bishop and allowed him to take my knight. And this leaves me with a weird pawn on f5, although not horrible. In fact, Houdini, when I looked at this, still liked white in this position. What Houdini wanted me to play was either g4, which I thought about during the game, protecting the pawn, or f4, which I didn't think about. But that's an interesting way to play. Maybe f4 and then g4. Push this knight away and get my pawns rolling here. If I'm not too worried about my king being destroyed, because his bishop is kind of locked down. If you look at the amount of space, white really has more space. So possibly I could get away with playing like that. Seems a bit risky to me. But anyway, I defended the pawn instead, and ended up having to give back the bishop. Well, I don't have the bishop pair anymore. I just have one bishop, and my opponent has one bishop. My bishop seems slightly better than his, but he keeps the game interesting by trading off this knight and doubling my pawns. And then he plays here. Okay, so here's your first tactical quiz. What's white's best move in this position? I'll give you a few seconds to think about it. And if you want to think some more, stop the video. Okay, I'm going to tell you the answer. The right move here is queen takes knight. And it's a sign of how out of shape I am, out of form I am, that I missed this tactic during the game, because that's really one of the most obvious ones. If you take any book of tactics puzzles, they have dozens of tactics that look just like this. The thing is, I take his knight, he takes my queen, I take his queen. His queen is sitting here unprotected, and I have two pieces lined up against it. So I can afford to give up my queen for a knight in order to get his queen. I'm just a piece up. Totally missed that. And so I attack his knight and force it to move away, forcing black to make a good move, which is something you don't want to do. But I continue with tearing up the pawns over here, and this is okay. Second tactical quiz. I played the wrong move here. What would you play? This one is a little more subtle. I'll give you some more time to think about it. Maybe 10 seconds starting from now. And if you want more time, pause the video. So start thinking. Okay, time's up. The right answer is queen takes queen, not played. Let's show you what happens as a variation. Queen takes queen, rook takes queen, rook takes rook, knight takes rook. I saw this far, and I thought, well, that's all even, and the pieces are all gone. What I didn't see was that I can get my rook to the 7th rank, and this is quite good for me. The knight comes back here to try and protect that pawn because it is kind of a skewer. I can chase the knight away with a move like that. Or even like this. And the knight has to go somewhere. Can't go here and attack the bishop. It has no move that'll attack the knight. So the knight has to go somewhere, and then I can at least grab a pawn. And when I grab a pawn, I'm also attacking his rook. So this would be good for white. Totally missed that. And instead I moved my queen out of the way, which is what I'd been planning to do, just to put a quick attack. I was hoping I might get a queen move with tempo. I could have considered coming over here, but actually that doesn't work. I have to stay in touch with this rook because otherwise he can win 2 rooks for the queen. So I pushed f6, which was an interesting move and not bad. Houdini didn't disapprove of this. Thing is, if he takes, then I get some good attacking chances on his king. He didn't take. He exchanged rooks first and then pushed a pawn. And I tried to get over here and attack. And this move here was my last mistake. So the best idea here, according to Houdini, was to play my bishop to this square, and then I guess I could come in here, and then I could think about busting open this position, and with the bishop firmly entrenched on that square, it'd be pretty good for me, I think. So it didn't mind that I gave up a pawn over here, but when I misplay by placing this move, I overlooked that the queen can take the pawn on f3, and now it's pretty much downhill. I have to trade queens, and he's winning. The rest of the moves go pretty quick. I tried to get some play on his knight or his rook, but it didn't work. And he's doubling up on my pawn here, and so that ties down 2 of my pieces if I want to keep it. He's doubling up on this pawn, obviously. So that ties down 2 of my pieces and really limits what I can do. I tried to break through, but he plays this move, king h7, very good. And now he's just winning the pawn, or even better, winning the exchange by checking me. So, a game of missed opportunities. Well played, Rinoff. He made a few mistakes, but I didn't catch him during the game, and so he went on to a well-deserved victory. And that's it for this postmortem. Short and sweet, or not so sweet. And I'll see you in the next Blitz game. And if you have any comments, please leave them in the section below. Bye.